Tiny little Romans.
You are listening to Just Roll Ones, your first stop for the last argument of kings. Join us as we delve into the epic world of Conquest, where strategy meets miniature warfare. From tactics to lore, we've got it all covered. Get ready to conquer the battlefield with us.
Hello and welcome to Just Roll Ones, your stop for everything for Conquest, the last argument of kings. You can see me finally now, whether you want to or not. My name is James, one of the Vanguards, and with me as always is Aaron. How are you doing, mate?
Hey. Yeah, good, thank you. How have you been?
Yeah, all good, all good. We're coming into that Christmas rush.
Yeah,
which
Dan,
is
100%.
which is always fun. So just about finished the Christmas shopping and just kind of like mentally prepping myself.
I need to get all of mine wrapped. I've got a few things dotted about the room. But yeah, we have to wrap it there. I took my eldest son shopping the other day for his mum for my wife for Christmas, so he could pick some presents for her, and that's always an enjoyable experience to have a 3-year-old picking picking presents. Last time we did it for her birthday last time, and he picked a large chicken doorstop. So we have a large beanbag chicken that he picked for her birthday. So yeah, that's always enjoyable.
Have you taken him to see Santa yet?
We have. Santa, very lovely, very nice man. Ruben was a bit scared. Santa obviously has a big beard, but yeah, my son's not a huge fan of beards, so you're out of luck, unfortunately. But yeah, very nice. Santa, lovely man, as we all know. Being very real.
Have you seen Red 1?
Not yet, but I've been told that I should.
It's really funny.
Okay, I'll give it a go. I'll give it a watch.
Yeah. So saying Santa was a nice man suddenly brought it to my mind. Yeah, it's a good one.
Well, we did watch our first Christmas movie. Me and my eldest son the other day. The best Christmas movie being Shrek. First Shrek movie, which I maintain is a Christmas film, for no other reason than the only time of year people seem to watch it is at Christmas.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you managed to get any games in recently?
So I haven't managed to get. I've had one game of Conquest a few weeks back. Everything's been quite busy. Leading up to the end of the year and everything. So gaming hasn't been. Haven't managed to get many huge number of games in or anything. Yeah, one game of Conquest. I've just been having games of other little games that either people near me have got and haven't played properly, or I've got. So I got Onus out the other week, which was good, a proper game of the year. That was like an ancient. It's a war game with ancient armies, but it's all card based, so there's no minis.
Oh,
so
cool.
I've got 10 different armies, and they all fit into this small box, and it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling. Yeah, had what have I had? Had a game of Gaslands as well, which is a really fun racing one. The other day, just been doing little bits, getting little games in here and there. I want to try out the new Lord of the Rings, but I need to get hold of the new rule book and stuff for that. And I've spent the last part of it trying to put Epic Hannibal together.
Okay,
it's like the Hell Caesar, but tiny versions. And I got 2 complete armies for in the summertime, and I've only just got round to putting them together properly to try and actually play it and do some games. Yeah. How about you?
Well, I played a game last night. I went to Preston Wargaming Guild and played a game of Conquest. We had a lovely game. I played my favourite list is Inward Rune at the moment, which is Dino Palace. Which has no mediums, and it has 2 units of Raptors, 2 units of Thunder Riders, a Tontor, and 2 Apex Predators. And I love it. It's such a fun list to play.
That's cool.
I do not understand why anyone would want to play Woodrune with no dinosaurs. Like psychopaths, as far as I'm concerned. Like madness. You play Woodrune because you want to play the orcs riding dinosaurs. That's all people want, you know.
That's fair.
Give the people what they want. Right? But I'm also I've been building lots of little Nordic men. Okay. So I've built 8. Not 8 stands. It's 8 individual dudes. You know, here's a call of the banner. Look at that.
Out of how many?
I have got. After I finish this box, I have 6 more to build.
Jeez.
And so there is possibly a tournament in January that I may be going to. I've had to message. Well, right, I've had to message and ask if it's going to be a Worlds event. I don't want to be one of these people that will only play in Worlds events, but I need to play in 4 Worlds events this year, and I only have so much time I can take to go. Once I've got my 4 out, by the way, I'll play in anything. Yeah.
Nice.
On that, actually, I did want to give a little shout out to one of the Vanguards. I don't know if you saw. There's a Vanguard on the main Discord called Tuna. Somewhere in America, I believe he's a Yank. And he's done something actually, an idea I've wanted to do for ages. So he's obviously done it first, and he did a really nice charity event for Conquest.
Oh, yes.
Everyone I know who attended the event said it was fantastic. They raised quite a lot of money, but you basically can donate to get different advantages or disadvantage your opponent by giving a donation to the charity. Similar to, if anyone remembers who played War Machine, there was an event called Food Machine where you could donate tins of food for charity, and you'd get like advantages like reroll dice, or one of them was one which I don't think Sheena did this one, but in the event I would eventually like to put together. Like you could donate a certain amount to take a unit from another faction in your army, and it's just a really fun event, and it looked like a really good time. It's a really nice kind of community event to have done. So nice. Shout out. That was sounds really good, and everyone I know who went loved it.
Yeah, massive shout out to him.
Unfortunately, I don't like tuna. Not the Vanguard, the fish. Unfortunately, not a huge fan of the fish. So you could have picked a nice fish like Vanguard sea bass, but there we go for tuna.
No one's perfect, mate. No one's perfect.
No, exactly. God.
Yeah.
So I guess. So I think today, as I hope the title of the podcast may or may not describe to people who are going to listen to it, we were hoping to kind of do a bit of a recap of the previous year. All the events you've been to, any of the changes in the game, have a talk about what we're looking forward to next year, and then just at the end, give a bit of a new year, new faction rundown of the state that all of the current factions are in, kind of going into 2025. But first, James, I have a new segment that I'm going to really unfairly call Law with James, and I'm just going to ask you questions, and you can give me your answer. So. Okay. James, why isn't there any gunpowder on Aya? Why do none of the factions have gunpowder? What's that about?
Well, I guess because it's just a pre like semi-industrialized world.
I don't know, man. Like the city-states seem pretty advanced.
Well, yeah, but I mean, their focus is kind of on like belief in God power juice and
true.
Yeah, general kind of steam mechanic, that kind of stuff. I mean, they may not have the elements for it. They may not have the elements.
Oh, so you're going down there's no sulfur on air, route.
Well, it's probably there might be sulfur. You're thinking about like the old Dominion lands. There might be.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say we haven't got that yet.
Look, I'm going to add to this. We've also not seen a trebuchet. I'm just going to throw that out there. Like, we've seen no long-range siege equipment. Ever.
Yeah, but you don't see any long-range siege equipment in a normal battle anyway.
No, but there's art. Look, all I'm saying, I think there's a deeper conspiracy theory here.
Maybe it's with the fish.
unfairly, this is not the fish gnomes for once, right? It's not even the spires, right? So the god war, I've decided that this is, canon lore now. I think the god war just doesn't like ranged combat. He's very anti like siege equipment. That's why there's no trebuchets on Aya. Right? Yeah. Anytime someone starts drawing up a trebuchet design, bam, war, kills them. Right? Anytime someone's developing gunpowder, bam, war, with his magic god powers in killing them. And then some people ask, but Aaron, the Dwegum have range attacks.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
Look,
although the Ardent, actually thinking about it, the Ardent doesn't.
The Ardent doesn't, but also look, the Dwegum, they're war's favoured people, I think, on Aya. So there's a small amount of hypocrisy involved in this god. And also, like, strapping 2 magic magma cannons to the back of an enslaved baby dragon is pretty metal. And I think at that point, you're like, you know what? You guys do you, If you want to put a trebuchet on the back of an abomination, I'm sure they wouldn't mind. Yeah, I think war would be fine with that.
I mean, it depends. Yeah, I guess you could almost have like a different terminology of what you mean by a gun.
Yeah, I mean, really, though, to be fair, it's the humans that don't have guns because the spires also have guns.
With the what they called the weird
desolation.
Yeah, drones. Yeah,
but that's technology from their previous non-war infested world. They've come with this knowledge. So war is keeping humanity down again.
Yeah, and because they recycle everything, it's sustainable technology.
Exactly. Poor. I don't think war minds too much about that. To be fair, I don't think war is very green god in this situation. But see, there we go. War is the reason there's no gunpowder in Aya. I've decided.
Okay.
I never see it. There will be flying cars on Aya before there's guns.
Yeah, but also like guns are, well, to me, guns are just boring.
I agree. History got boring when guns.
Yeah. Absolutely. And
war knows that. The god war knows that would happen, so he stopped it. There were no trench warfare in Aya ever.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could go ahead of that. I could go along with that.
Good. This is now canon lore. Stavros, I'm available for hire. I can consult on any other issues that need explaining. The gods did it. This is it. The magic gods. So,
okay.
What was your favourite part about 2024, James?
Favourite part of 2024? Probably it's a mix-up between UKGE and LGT.
Mm-hmm.
Partly because they're pretty much the only 2 events I managed to make this year. But I'll probably say the LGT.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly probably because they're coming away with the win and stuff.
And you got to play in it too.
Yeah, and getting to play in it as well. Yeah, it's fun. As fun as it is organising events, it's always good. It's always more fun to play in them. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I'd probably say the LGT. With the UKGE being like a very, very close second. Yeah. What about you?
I mean, I think I'm required to say that the best moment was the birth of my second child. But a close second would be, I would probably agree with you, being LGT this year. It was a really great event, bigger than the year before. A lot of us managed to stay at the same hotel this year as well, which was really nice afterwards. It was really good. I'm still on the fence about camping next year. I think I probably won't. I think I'm past that. I love camping and I want to go camping with like my family. I don't want to go camping and play war games for 3 days. No.
I think like you can look at early enough, staying in that hotel, just having that nice comfy bed.
Exactly.
Completely back into. Yeah.
And very cheap pina coladas. That was also fantastic.
Yes.
And UKG again being a close second. LGT was just longer, so it was over more days. And though I will say the food was notably better at UKGE this year than it was the year before. It was a huge improvement, I think, in that regard.
Yeah, it was, especially where we were located next to that burger van.
Exactly.
Really good burgers. Yeah.
Yeah. I
No,
mean,
no, was it hot dogs or burgers? Or
they're
both?
They're both.
The
Yeah.
Yeah,
We were spoiled.
we were.
And I think for me this year, UKG was a bit different than the year before. So because I only went down for the one day, so I didn't really get a chance to look around all the different the stalls. So really, I was there for the tournament predominantly.
Yeah, you were only there on the Friday, weren't you? Yes.
Yeah, I drove down. I got to the centre at about 7 a.m, which was before anybody else was there. And so then I was sat about waiting for things to open. But yeah, that was a really nice event. I really enjoyed that. Hoping I can go next year and help out. I think I've said as long as I'm able to make it down, I'll run the event in 2025. I think I'll run the tournament even in 2025. But it'd give you a chance to play if you're able to make it.
I've got it in. I've got it in the calendar. Mm-hmm. It's one of the things for next year. I'm definitely aiming to get down and help out with as well. Yeah. And to be honest, I mean, running the event at UKGE was actually I legitimately wouldn't mind doing it again. I genuinely had fun running it. It was, it just says a lot about the community.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone was really
so much fun. It generally didn't feel like a typical as being an organizer. Everything just flowed really well. Everyone just got on. Yeah. I basically just had to look at it. All I had to do was almost just now and again read out some names and tell them what table they're on.
Yeah, Lindsay brought cookies. That was brilliant.
Yes, that was awesome.
That. Yeah, but yeah, I think really that's going to be quite a similarity for everything we talk about our highlights. Is just the community this year in the UK has been really strong.
Yeah, it has definitely.
We'll talk about maybe aims for next year, like now on hobby New Year's resolutions, and I'm sure everyone's going to have the same one that we all have every year. But we'll talk about those later. But yeah, so I guess really UKG, I was only there for one day, so it's quite a short, but it was a really nice event. And I guess
it is. And see, in some ways UKGE is in some ways it tops LGT from the fact that UKGE is just it's the largest games convention in the UK.
Yeah.
Not in Europe or anything, but certainly in the UK. And there's just so much stuff. It's just so much. And it's awesome just being able to because I helped out. So I helped out with the tournament on the Friday, and then I was there for the Saturday and the Sunday helping at the stall. So mostly just doing demo games and whatnot. And there's just such a buzz with it. Yeah, everyone who come by, it was awesome, and really nice and really interested in everything. And yeah, just when you just wander around, you just get lost in it all.
Yes. Yeah. It's a really nice event.
Yeah, and being able to help out with PB and stuff as well. You get the organizer tag, so you can obviously be in when normal public aren't. So you get to walk. First of all, you get to walk past the thousands of people waiting outside. And you just walk past, going, "Am I better than everyone?"
And the answer is yes.
Yes. And also, it just gives you a chance to walk. So I went there extra early on the Sunday, and it just gives you a chance to walk around all the stalls and just look at stuff. Without anyone else kind of barging into you or anything else, or trying to squeeze through crowds, So I think that's the only thing with UKG. There's so much stuff there. The actual walkways and pathways. When it gets congested, it gets congested.
Yeah, definitely. It's very busy. But I'm really looking forward to it next year. And it'll be really good fun again.
No, definitely.
And then I guess the second big highlight is going to be LGT. Which, as you said, obviously we had the episode which you won. Again, crowning us as the best UK podcast. Maybe one day they'll beat us. We don't know.
I am looking into getting those ashes sorted.
I think so too. What can we burn to make ashes?
I'm just going to burn like some old Conquest cards.
Yeah, old Conquest cards. We'll make a video of us doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
I'm going to find an old card from each faction and just burn them all together.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. And we can add, every time there's a new faction, we can add one card to it.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that was a really fantastic event. We had people from, we had one guy from Australia there. We had people from all over the country coming there to play. It's just a really nice event.
Yeah. And it just seems to grow each year as well.
Yeah.
So there were, the first year there was, 12?
12 or something, yeah.
Second year, so last year there were 22. It kind of got and that was limited, not because of any fault on ours, but the organisers decided. So it got sold out really quickly, and we thought it was like 24, but it turned out to be around 18, 20 players or so. And then this year it was about 30. There was 30, weren't there?
Possibly. Possibly a few more. Yeah, something like 32.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was pretty much all the tables, like the whole area we had completely filled up. So it just seems to get bigger and bigger. So
next year, 64. All right, let's get 64 next year.
That's the aim. And again, it's such a great advertising point for the game, because people come over and they see the cool dinosaurs, they see the cool monsters and all that, and they come over and start looking, and they get really interested. They get really interested in it. So I think that's where, because quite a few of the people who attended the LGT this year, it was because they were at the LGT last year doing a different game, had seen Conquest, and jumped fully on board.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, we had Duncan Rhodes of Warhammer painting fame came and had a chat.
Yeah.
This is my nerdy. It's not even a claim to fame. It's so removed. But my good friend from college's dad plays war games with Duncan Rhodes, so I've got a 3-person removed link to him.
Nice.
Yeah, it's quite funny. And at some point, I'll tell the story that he told me. But again, there's so many people there. You can go and look around all these other game systems that are playing. And you get a chance. If David was here, he'd tell us about how great the food is. I think he's not wrong.
Oh, I think he goes primarily.
I was just saying, he might actually show up next year just to have the food.
Yes. Yeah, maybe have a game of Conquest.
Exactly. Yeah. Shout out to Daryl and the Newcastle lot for showing us that cafe near the Murder Hotel. That was a good breakfast we had there.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Really good.
Yeah.
That was enjoyable. But yeah. So I think, those are the two big events we had last year. And then already this year, I've not been to many events. By that, I've been to no other events. But there's already been quite a few smaller events being planned and being ran, in places like Derby, places like Cornwall.
Since there's a bunch going on in Cornwall at the moment.
Yeah, it's just a shame. It's the arse end of nowhere. Why is it so far from everything?
London. London. We've had one. I think there's been one event down in Southampton. I think it was in April time. Yep. So we're looking at doing a couple more around this way for next year as well. The small local, the smaller events. Again, they're just becoming more and more common, or more frequent. Yeah, and it's great. And a lot of them now are starting to turn into world events and whatnot.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll hopefully try and make it down next year to a Southampton event.
Do mate. It'll be more than
4 hours.
Hotels around here and stuff as well. And yeah.
It's about 4 hours.
Yeah. It's about 4 hours from you, roughly.
Yeah. I can make it work.
How long did it take you to get to London or the
Bloody
LGT.
too bloody long, James. God, the traffic on that day was abysmal. It took me, in the end, 7.5 hours to drive to my hotel in London. It should have been about a 3-hour journey. It was awful.
How long should it have taken you?
Yeah, about 3.5 hours it should take.
So you probably so if you stick, it would take you probably about you're looking probably about 4.5, 5 hours.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm hoping to do an event up, hopefully around Manchester at some point. I've been talking to a few other local players, doing something at Element Games. I think would be really nice. But yeah, we'll definitely get some events going.
I'll do the same as well. Like if you end up, if you can get that organised, I'll look at coming up to Manchester.
Yeah, no, I think that would be great. And so I think that'll be hopefully again a really solid year of events and just getting more people. Like I mentioned before, the game I played the other day, the player base at that club has just been booming recently. I think they're pretty close. I think to two. God, what was I about to say? Double figures. They're pretty close to double figures now. It's for a couple of really recently started playing, really good. So we're really enjoying that.
Nice.
That's it.
Nice.
And I think, this is an idea. I'm talking out loud. Think out loud for us, but we could maybe do an event in the new year on like growing your local community for games, like what people could do to grow their local community. Because I think, relatively successful at that, I guess. Yes.
Yeah, that'd be a really good one. And I could that'd be a really good one to do in the new year. I could maybe ask you can maybe ask like some of the other like vanguards if they want to tune it, like join us and just have like a little like round table thing.
That'd be really good. That's a really good idea.
Nice.
So that was kind of events, but what was your favourite release?
Oh, there's been a few, hasn't there?
Yeah.
It's probably it's a toss up between the Chosen and Death or the Quarrel. I know they're two of the more recent, like more recent ones. But I've been looking forward to them since I first saw them in the faction roster.
Yeah.
So I've been waiting ages for them.
The Quarrel's a big one.
I still haven't bought any yet. Actually, I've got some on order. I'm just waiting for like the next payday to come through so I can buy them. But they're up there. I'm probably going to say the Chosen to Death.
Yeah, I think the Chosen to Death are pretty cool.
Yeah, they're a lot more toned down than what they were rules wise, which is probably a good thing. But the model, they're just so different.
Yeah.
I would say the Quarrel, but we've already got like, they had to be critical. We've already got a bunch of dinosaurs. But the Chosen,
have too many.
The Chosen of Death are just like stand out. They just stand out from the whole army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I think the Mounted Predator as well, I think, is a really nice new model that's come out for Wood Runes.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's the 3 editions I want to get. I'm hopefully getting very soon. I want to use at least one Quarrel in a tournament I'm going to in January. But yeah, I'd probably say the Chosen to Death.
I think for Wood. Was it this year? I'm not sure. For Wood Rune, for me, I would say one of my favourite models was the Thunder Chieftain. But was that this year or last year?
That was last year.
Okay.
Yeah, he came out with the Thunder Ride.
Irrelevant. You don't matter anymore. Go away.
I was about to say the Tontor, and I thought, no, hold on, the Tontor was last year as well.
That was last year too. Yeah.
Yeah. We had that was like the Wardrune Summer, or whatever it was called.
October.
October. It's kind of been October with the no. When did the Quarrel come out? No, it was November the Quarrel came out, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we didn't even have an October this year. Yeah. No, Chosen to Death for me. I think closely followed by the Quarrel.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
What about you? Because I only collect like a couple of armors. You collect all of them, so I'm also like trying to think what your favourite is.
My
You're probably-
favourite is Black Friday deals, is what mine is.
Your favourite is
Well,
seven box of the
yeah.
Raiders.
7 boxes, 7 £12 boxes.
Well, yeah.
So I have a real soft spot for pigs. Like I love, they're probably my favourite animal, and they're brilliant. And so the Galter Beast Pack for Nords, like, is up there. Like that's a really strong contender for me. I think they're fantastic. They are not in my list that I'm planning to play with Nords, but at the moment, I love them. I think they're fantastic.
They do look fun.
There, I mentioned before that Malifaux, I think, on a previous podcast, and I've got like the pig riding gremlin faction.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm a huge fan of those. Though otherwise, I'm just trying to think what's come out this year. So just as the people be able to see that I can kind of flick through. Like,
we had for spies there was the Desolation drones.
Yeah,
the New Abomination came out, didn't it?
Yeah, the New Abomination came out.
Yeah, I think it did. We've had the Leonian Avatar. Oh, the Leonian.
They're cool.
I forgot about them. That might change my mind.
No, my actual favourite model is probably the Rakshasa. I just think it's so cool. The Sorcerer Kings Rakshasa.
Oh, shit, yeah, I've forgotten
all of Sorcerer Kings. Yes.
Forgot an entire faction came out this year.
But yeah, no,
the Rakshasa. Yeah, that is a very, particularly the tiger paint job. On it as well. That is a very beautiful model.
So I'm just scrolling through the eShop now, and so if you were watching on YouTube, they'll be able to see just some of the models that have come out recently, and I'm going to with our obviously massive podcast shout out somebody, call out somebody, and this will have no. I don't feel bad about this because it will have no actual meaning to them. Do you know who Ninjon is? The painting YouTuber.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, love it. I watch his videos. I listen to their podcast. It's great. But he did a review of like loads of different model ranges, and I have to say his review of Conquest models was just awful. Basically, he reviewed Steel Legion, which is a really old kit. Fair enough, it's still an existing model, and I think that the kit holds up pretty well. But I'm not saying everyone has to love the Conquest model. Right? I understand that people have opinions on it. But one of his criticisms of it was that it's very, like, typical. There wasn't anything kind of exciting or, like, different about the range. It wasn't unique. And I was like, they have, like, sexy orcs riding dinosaurs. And they have, like, giant elemental tiger guys. I was like, Conquest inspires.
Was this a recent video?
Yeah, pretty recent. It was this year. It was about a month or two ago. And I was just
he's really missed the ball.
Yeah, no, exactly. I was like, open up at the eShop. Like, I think that Conquest has some of the coolest models in terms of design in a lot of games. Obviously, I mean, we've mentioned other games before. Like, you've got Malifaux, which is just way out there. Some of them are way out there. Some of it is just humans, but But then, like, another game I've mentioned recently too, which I think he gave quite a good rating to, which I would agree to, is Warcrow. But at the moment, Warcrow is just dudes and orcs. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, come on. But anyway, Conquest, fantastic. Ninjon is wrong. If he disagrees, he can make a reply video to us and drive loads of engagement to our channel.
Yes, please do.
Yeah. You shit, Ninjon.
He may have just had like a very quick scroll through the web shop.
I think he probably did.
Or somebody gave him like some 100 Kingdoms and was just like, yeah, have a look at the 100 Kingdom stuff.
I think that's probably it. But I mean, I don't know much about marketing, but I do know that the internet loves drama. So, this is our marketing push.
Come at us, mate.
Exactly. This is like the equivalent of like a university newspaper criticizing the government for something, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, no, I love.
Yeah.
Source of Kings are exceptional.
So you saying the Rakshasa? I still can't pronounce the damn thing.
Rakshasa. Yeah, I think so. That's my favourite. I think. I'm just looking through my. Yeah, no, I'm gonna solid. Rakshasa is my favourite.
All right. I'm gonna ask something a bit controversial. What was your least favourite model?
I can tell you with no question asked. It is the Mahut. It is a stupid smooth elephant, right? I understand this is a design choice. I understand that there was a conscious decision to make it look like that, but I hate it. Like, and you know what made it worse? One thing I did see from the happy hour is some really cool concept art of a cool war elephant. And I was like, that's what I want. I want the cool war elephant, not the money box.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is my least favorite in terms of a design of a model. My least favorite in terms of building models is 100% household guards. Why is their head in 3 pieces? It's insane.
Yeah.
Go ahead, what was your least favorite model?
I'm trying to say something different. So we don't put the same hate on it. I'm probably going to have to say the Mahut as well.
But I think this is the thing, though. To be really clear, like for you, I'm assuming the same as me. It's based on the design, and it's not the fact it's a bad quality model.
No.
The design of the.
It's just not as it's just not as epic as the other stuff that's come out.
Exactly.
And the concept art. I'm sure that there's legitimate reasons why we changed it and stuff. It's like the Tontor that was going to be on 2 stands, and then they realised, God no, because that's going to be like ludicrously, enormous and expensive and everything else. So I'm sure there's legitimate reasons, but yeah, it just doesn't have. To me, it just doesn't have like a lot of dynamic to it. Or texture to it. Yeah.
And so I think I'm pretty certain it's like a law reason that it's changed. So I'm going to blame Stavros and just reiterate: if you need any, law corrections, I'm available. You've got my number. Just give me a ring. I can bring elephants back to ear.
Well, I know where they got the inspiration from, and it's from a tale of of Alexander and a stone and a marble horse.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing with like the idea that there aren't any elephants left alive on Aya.
Yeah.
And this guy was basically trying to like make marble elephants and give them life and everything as a hobby, and he'd give them away as gifts. But yeah, it's which is fine, but just as a model, it's.
I think if they'd have just added some texture to it, like some rock texture, I think it probably would have been fine.
Yeah,
and that's probably.
I do like the what's she called? The lady.
Maharaja. The chosen of.
The chosen of. I prefer her on it than I do the archers.
No, I agree with you there. I
think she really suits it.
Yeah, and the thing is, so it's got really good rules, the Mahut. So I'm probably gonna pick one up eventually, and I will probably add some texture paint to it to make it a little bit more rocky.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. But
yeah,
so that's
marble paint scheme or something.
I will say there was at one point on the main Discord in the painting channel a really nice looking Mahut that someone had done with I think it was like a green marble effect, and it was fantastic. Like it was really, really good. So I do think like that, it's like you said, it's not that it's a bad quality model. I just don't like the design of it. So I'm blaming Stavros for that one. It's his fault. I'm just going to throw shade at people. This end of the year. You can wait till 20 next year to call me out on.
Yeah, no, that's fair. No, I had a feeling you were going to say the Archangel as your favorite model, not your least favorite. As your favorite.
I do like the Archangel. I think it gives me some really good like Dark Souls vibes.
Yeah.
In that, So yeah, I am a big fan of those. Open up. There we go. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the Archangel. I think they're really, really cool.
Yeah.
I also, I'm really excited to play the Theist stuff. After Christmas, though, I think I'll probably at that point hopefully have built all my Nords, so I'll be on Team
Nice.
Nord for a little while. I still think that there's the kind of opinion, the view in the UK at least, if not wider, that Nords aren't very strong, and I think Nords are really good. And I thought they're really good for a long time, but I think they're really good. And so if I play them and I win, it's obviously because I'm really good. And if I lose, it's because the faction had. That's what I can say.
Oh, absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's one of the most stressful things about playing like Old Dominion because if you lose, well, I mean, Old Dominion are really good, so I want no accountability in my wargaming.
You get good, mate.
No, I'm just playing a bad faction. Yeah.
But that's my excuse now because apparently Wardruna become like terrible.
Right, we could. I think we won't have enough time today. New Year. I think Wardruna are really bloody good.
They are. Right. They are. So but I can now at least fall back on the thing of I can now do the same thing you're doing.
I know.
If I win, it's because of my my strategic mastermind. But if I lose, it's because they just don't work anymore.
Well, exactly. It's what I did with Sorcerer Kings at LGT. I was like, oh no, Sorcerer Kings, yeah. Yeah. No, I do really like the Archangel. It gives you some really good Dark Souls, kind of Elden Ring vibes. I'm really excited to see some cool paint schemes on it. I think it's going to really be, kind of show well, if there's a good paint scheme. Same with the Sicarii. The Sicarii are fantastic models. I'm a huge fan of those too.
They look, they look good. I'm almost tempted to try and convert them into order, of Steel Legion.
Yeah, No, I think they're really cool. And also, did you ever play Stronghold back in the day?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, the Crusader Noble Lord gives me real Stronghold.
Yeah. He does. Yeah, and in fact, the new men at arms that they brought out in the Crusaders. It is definitely making me think. I'm having to tell myself, no, I don't need another 100 Kingdom army.
Right? Yeah.
I'm having to tell myself
I don't need one. You can never have too many 100 Kingdoms armies. There are 100 kingdoms.
True. It was the first army. I think a lot of people. It was the first army I started with. So it came in the original starter box and everything.
Yes.
And everyone made their own. It was just so easy to have their own character, but their own character make their own kind of narrative and everything else and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I'm kind of looking at that. I'm kind of looking at them again, going, crap. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of those.
Yeah.
And so,
I
think that's really kind of recapped over. Obviously, we had our first ever Worlds. That's probably a big thing for Conquest, wasn't it?
We should probably talk about that as well.
Yeah.
The first ever Worlds event. Neither of us were there, but Chris from the UK represented us.
And I think, I'm being really honest, I think the point behind it has worked. So obviously, me and you both obviously kind of compete in events and we play and stuff. So I would probably consider us in the competitive scene of Conquest. I'm not saying you're a competitive player, don't I? But you're involved in the competitive scene of the game.
Yes, I would agree.
I agree with that. You won LGT, right?
I still hate the idea of being a competitive.
You are a competitive. You're a dirty, sweaty competitive player. Right? But so last night, I was at local gaming club. Really new players, kind of just getting into playing 2,000 points. And one of the guys was like, "Oh yeah, we were talking about other gaming companies,
You
not
didn't- you
Games
didn't
Workshop.
Can I just ask? You didn't just crush them into the mud, did you, with Raptors and be like, sod off, noob?
Yeah, get good. No, I didn't. It was actually a really close game that we had. But I did kill a lot of his stuff with Raptors. And they also just kept making their saves in the game. At one point, I did make 8 two evasion 2 rolls. And I was like, oh, I feel really bad. And I'll be really honest, like, not because he was bad, but because it's like a new player, I was kind of like, I could probably just take a few wounds and make this a little bit better. But he'd seen my roll, and I was like, I'm not going to patronize him and be like, oh, it's all right, I'll roll again. But I was like, man, that was a really, really, yeah, I had a few jammy rolls with the Raptors.
In fairness, that's normally how my Raptors go. I either whenever I roll their defense stuff, I either don't roll anything or I roll like 80% of them are 2s.
I was just wild. Yeah. Wild. But another guy that we were talking about private tier press for other reasons. But the guy, they were very complimentary about Parabellum. But then one of the guys was like, oh yeah, I saw they had that like Worlds tournament this year and they flew people out to Greece. And what he said was, he didn't really comment on the fact it was like a competitive event, but he was saying like, oh, you know, I saw those pictures of them like sitting down and having food together and all this stuff. He said it's just really, really nice. And I was like, that's what I think. There's kind of 2 things. I think having an event like Worlds makes private tier press look good. Like, people are very positive about that kind of community engagement. But also, like, I don't know if you've ever played Magic the Gathering, like, but the Pro Tour, at least, you know, when I used to play quite a long time ago, was a really big thing. And most, like a vast majority of people, had no illusion they were going to qualify for the Pro Tour.
Yeah.
Magic. But because there was this competitive scene in Magic, it encouraged people to play the game more. And when I say like a competitive sense, I don't mean like being like a super competitive like tournament player, but just the fact that there's this kind of competitive framework that people are playing to means that I think it makes you be like, you know what? Yeah, we could have an event. Like, we'll have a Worlds event. Let's see if we can get some points, kind of thing. Like, you're probably not going to qualify for Worlds, but you can get some points, and people like that.
You can apply for it, yeah. And I think that's what's really well with it. And so take Chris for example. You know, he went out there, and he's a really good player. He didn't win all the tournaments he went to.
No, exactly.
So many, he got, you know, the points all, and he kind of got normally like, you know, apologies, mate, if I'm doing you a disservice here, and feel free to like correct me in the comments or whatnot. But I think he normally came like kind of like mid and then upwards kind of thing, like mid higher end kind of thing. So he may not necessarily be in the podium all the time, but he just got all those points. And you know, in fairness to him, if there's an event on, Chris will attend it.
Exactly. And to be fair, mate, look, when you're always at the top of the podium, everybody looks like they're middle of the table to you, don't they? You know, like second place is just the first place loser, right?
Yeah, I can't see 15 or lower from my pedestal.
But yeah, that's
and he turns up. So yeah, it's definitely kind of promoted getting to more events, trying to get more getting more engagement. And they want to. The thing with Worlds is okay. The first one here was always going to be like the big you know, competitive tournament one. But they want it to be more than that, and it will be more than that. So they want to have like, you know, painting celebrations. Yes, okay, the world championship kind of thing for First Blood. Also, for Last Argument, but now also for First Blood. And I think they were also talking about like just having like a narrative championship thing as well. So yeah, it's not necessarily just going to be about this like super competitive event. It's just meant to be like the accumulation of celebrating the game. Yeah,
well, exactly. And I think that's even to say it was just the World's tournament this year, they've done it really well, I think.
Yeah.
You know, I know I've seen people in the commenting on like Discord and stuff. Like, of course, there are more things they could do. Like, I agree with some people. I would love for them to have streamed it. I completely understand, though, that there is a logistical issue with doing that.
I'm only on a small island.
Exactly. You know, we're going to have to get Starlink.
Yeah, apparently a guy and his horse turned up to watch.
Yeah, well, yeah,
and I don't know if a small rural islands agrees to have that good of internet connection to stream a live live game.
It would just be a large kind of logistical investment to do, and I completely understand why they didn't do it. Of course, it would be better if they did, but I think that's it's kind of like a non sequitur, isn't it? Like it's a bit
Yeah.
What we need to do, obviously, is get Elon Musk into Conquest, and he can just bring Starlink with him, and then
definitely.
We'll get Starlink, and we'll be fine. But
Yeah,
I think that would be. I'd love to see more Conquest stream stuff. Would be great. But yeah, and they can add more to it. You know, they like you said, they can add the narrative side. They can add. They may need to change venue. I think if it gets too big. I feel like the people of Chios would be a bit perturbed if their population doubled for a week because of Conquest players. Like arriving on the island.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Well, I think they were generally because apparently made like the make newspapers and stuff, and it got a huge amount of publicity out there, and people were just
definitely
to look at what was going on, to see these international grown men playing a miniatures game.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, but yeah, it looked really fun. Like I think everyone looked like they had a good time. Stavros apparently is a great griller. He's got some good barbecue skills out there. So yeah, it sounds really enjoyable. I think I didn't go, so I'm probably not the best person to say, but I feel like it was a real success with what they were.
I think so. I haven't heard anything bad about it.
No.
Everyone had a wonderful time. Everyone who went in the best, went with the best mindset and the best spirit.
Yeah,
definitely. So like no one was there win at any costs or anything.
No, of course,
yeah. I think it was a real big success.
Yeah, no, for sure. I will say one negative as well. Actually, is after the original kind of announcement, I didn't actually see any pretzels provided to the players there, and so no beer. I'm sure they had beer. But no pretzels. So next year they need some pretzels for their gaming. Yeah.
We'll get to more events and take them out with you, mate.
That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know if you're allowed. Would I be allowed to? I don't want to get stopped at customs. Like, I'm sorry, sir. What's in your luggage?
Oh, you are. I'll tell you what. Talking about customs, actually, I did go to Morocco for a few days in November.
Mm-hmm.
As a little break, and God, their customs is tight.
Yeah.
Their customs is really tight.
I had a weird experience a few years ago when I went to Canada. I don't know if I've said before, I'm half Canadian, and I had to fly on a Canadian passport. I arrive in Canada, the miserable security guard sent me to the England line anyway. So I kind of get to the front, and kind of like you say, really strict. Like this guy, really, really going over everything. Have you got this? Have you got more than $15 worth of stuff? Everybody know, And he kind of looks down and sees I've got a Canadian passport, and he's like, "Are you Canadian?" I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm half Canadian." Why are you in this line? I was like, "The guy sent me." He was like, bloody! You should have said, "Go through." He just starts taking my stuff off. So yeah, that was nice. So I just got through with that.
And then you come back to the UK, and everyone's just walking through. They just don't give a shit.
Yeah. Well, so we flew back into Leeds. It was kind of like that. But on our second leg in Canada, my family live in Newfoundland, which is like very, very rural Canada. It's like a little island off to the east coast. If people know it, there's not a whole lot there. But literally, there wasn't customs. I don't remember there being security. I literally walked off the plane into the luggage rack and then walked out.
Oh.
And then my grandma, granddad were there, and on the way out, the lady. It was an internal flight, so maybe it's a little bit different. But the lady on the balcony was giving out free dog biscuits to dogs that were in the trucks, and I was like, "Man, this is the best place! Like, this isn't Gatwick. Like, this is brilliant."
I thought you were going to say she gave you a dog biscuit.
No, well, she did, but to give to the dog, to be
Yeah. No, sorry, that just reminded me of that. But yeah. No, Worlds, huge success.
Yeah.
So yeah, if people are listening to that, that was definitely like one of the main like proper highlights of the year. Definitely, I think for everyone.
I think so. Yeah, it looked, and it was really fun just listening to people who went talking about lists. There was just a lot of excitement around Conquest at that time, and I think that was really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that kind of rolls in nicely to what are you excited for next year? Well, I guess actually, so I'm going to change slightly what we mentioned. We will go over that, but what are you excited to? No. In fact, we'll do that last. No, what are you excited for next year? Yeah, what are you excited for next year?
Excited. I think I'm excited for definitely aiming to get to more events. So I'm trying to kick next year off with a bang. So I'm going to one of the Cornwall events on the 18th of Jan. So going down there. I'm excited for Worlds, and I do want to try and like make like have more of a chance of trying to like properly what's the word properly try and qualify for it.
Yeah.
So this year's just been like very busy with things, or whenever there's been an event on, I've just had something on that I can't get out of. So I'm hoping for next year that's a bit different. I can make more events, get up my world points, and hopefully fingers crossed and stuff. If Chris decides to take a break from the hobby, I might get back the invite to Kios.
Well, so you are currently in Region H, ranked 6th.
Yes,
ranked 6th currently. I am ranked 16th. So, but have you only got one event under your belt at the moment? I think
I've only got the yeah.
See, me too. So we've got 3 events to pick that up. Brandon is the top player currently on 74.
Yes.
So I don't know. I'm not sure if he's gone to every event.
I'm not sure he has, but he's down in Cornwall though.
Yeah. I think
because Cornwall are managing to put on loads of events, which is awesome.
Yes,
which is why I'm trying to get down to like try and make like maybe one. Try and make as many as I can, but I'm aiming to make like maybe 2 or 3 of them over the course of the year. It's obviously a long way to go and stuff.
Of course, yeah.
But that's great. Going to try and put one on in Southampton and stuff as well. I think just try and get to as many as possible, and try and get those points up. Yeah.
At the moment, Random is the one to beat.
Yeah.
And so Chris currently is 3rd, and I always forget who CM91 is.
Oh, that's Craig.
Oh, okay, cool. So Craig is in the 2nd. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Wadroon. I think he plays Wadroon.
Everyone plays Wadroon. Yeah.
Not now. They're terrible.
You can't shake a stick in the UK without hitting a Wadroon player. It's madness.
Yeah, I'm taking Wadroon down on January, I think. So I haven't had a chance to get many games in like the new format and stuff. So I'm not necessarily predicting to do like majorly well, but I'll do what I can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been playing around with a tribes list. That's quite fun, actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So and like slingers are obviously very good in Wadroon. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Slingers will still be there. Still got them. Yeah, and maybe take the quad ult and stuff if I can get it kind of ordered and it gets here on time. Yeah. If
I was playing Wadroon, I'd play my fun Dino Palace list. I enjoy not playing infantry. That's a really good one, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. That is a tempting list, I have to admit. I could do that. Need 2 units of Thunder Riders.
Yeah, 1 unit of 3 and 1 unit of 6.
Or 1 unit of 3 and 1 unit of 6.
Yeah.
I might have a look at it. Yeah. I could do 1 unit. Yeah. I might have a look at that. But yeah, either way, I'm looking at getting down there. I'm excited to try and put more presence in with the events and stuff.
No, me too.
Try and get there to chaos. Yeah,
yeah. Especially, I'd initially hoped to try and qualify for 2025 Worlds, though I don't know if I'm going to be able to hit 3 events by another 3 events. So that I think would be difficult. But then the year after, now the boys are older, I think it'll be a lot more doable to do that.
Yeah, no, definitely. And again, the more success it is, the longer they, the more the longer they'll keep it running.
Exactly, so, of course. I'm also really excited about the book. I haven't seen the book yet.
Oh, the RPG one.
No. Remember the book? So based on your Argon points, you get your name written in the book.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
And I'm going to reach the requisite amount of Argon to go in the book this season.
Nice.
So now I'm going to go in the book. That's my my hope this year. Be good.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. So what's your like main thing you're excited for? Properly, is it like the book, or any like particular or anything that's coming up? Or
I mean, I'm excited to play more, and I'm excited to play Nords for a little bit, kind of starting next year. Hopefully, enjoy them, see how they go. But I think I'm actually really excited to see what Faction 9 is.
Yeah,
I'm excited to play them to go, but I'm excited to see what they is. So I don't know if people know. I mean, I know we've mentioned before. We mentioned on the podcast of Leo that we're both playtesters. And for people who are wanting to ask playtesters, we genuinely don't know what the faction is either.
Don't. It's all been Faction 9.
Yeah.
There's no unit names. There's
no ability names.
There's no ability names. There's nothing. It's all just like so hush hush. And I asked Leo. So we asked Leo about this as well. And what it is that they want to look at primarily how they play. And as soon as you start reading some lore, or as soon as you start hearing names, or you see models or concepts, you start immediately kind of like mixing that with the rules.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying a bit the other way around. They're looking purely at how does this faction play, their mechanics and all that, getting that grounded before they actually say, "Cool, awesome," and this is what they look like.
Yeah, well, that's
yeah.
I'm really looking forward to seeing them because it'll be nice to be surprised and excited for something new that we haven't seen. I'm enjoying seeing all the like the theorizing on the chat. Obviously, the Australians have informed us that drop bears are too powerful to be on the table. It cannot be a drop bear faction.
Shame.
Exactly, they're basically like dragons.
Right, yeah, they're right though. But yeah.
But yeah, I think that that I've been enjoying, and I think so. Like they've said that it's something we haven't seen, and I think people need. I think people should realize that is what they mean. Like, from what I gather, like it is a faction that we haven't heard about at all. So I've seen obviously some people were talking about the Quiet, and I was like, yeah, but they've been mentioned. So. We know that they exist. So I mean, I think it's just something completely new.
Yeah,
so not fish gnomes.
No, they. I just remember like when I asked Daryl this year when it was at UKGE, and he literally couldn't like say anything. I even said to him like, just blink twice if I get it right. He said all he would say is that it's something we've never heard of before.
Yeah.
So any faction that we know, that's ever often been mentioned or whatever, I don't think it's any of that. I think it's completely different.
No, and I'm looking forward to that. I think that'd be really good.
Yeah.
And then I do hope that again soon we get a vote. Maybe not on the 10th faction, because I won't say anything, but I think I know which faction the community at large really, really wants faction 10 to be.
Yeah. I'm guessing it's probably the oh crap.
The
What's the name?
Weavers.
Pardon? The Weavers. Yeah. Yeah.
I think if it's not the Weavers, there might be a riot. But after that, I'd love to see like another vote because I really enjoyed that period. You know, there was like a meme war in the chat that was fun.
Yeah,
like that was a really enjoyable time. So I mean, I hope they do something like that again. It was really nice to get to vote on, even if the best didn't win.
I hope so. I'm a little hesitant by it because the only problem is that loads of people were voting, and a bunch of people who were voting weren't necessarily people who were even going to buy that army anyway.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah,
and I think that's where Sorcerer Kings took a bit of a hit.
So I think you can point to the moment that Sorcerer Kings won the vote, and it was when they released the model concepts. Because the Sorceress model concept is one of the best like character sculpts that Parabellum has ever done, and the Hell model was like it looked like a kind of a General Brute model, and I was like, that's
something special.
And exactly, it wasn't even a bad model. It wasn't a bad concept. It just wasn't the cool gropey gin.
But you also had orc pirates on a giant tortoise.
But that came out in week 3, and you'll notice that you would have noticed the voting in week 3 rocketed up for.
Yeah, true.
Then, so I think that I think there's maybe different ways you could go about it. Maybe you have a few different weeks of information leaking, and then a vote at the end or something like that. That would be maybe better. But yeah, I think that I'd like to see it again. Maybe not every year, but maybe for one that's coming up.
Yeah. I can see that.
And I also guess, kind of adding on from that, we should probably remind everyone about the happy hour that's coming up.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a good segue onto it as well. So we've got the happy hour on the 9th of January.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people, and me included, I think we're getting a bit hopeful that there was going to be some mention of Faction 9 in the happy hour that happened in like this month, December.
Mm-hmm.
And Darryl was like, no, they said that there's a reason it's on the 9th of January. The 9th. So 9th of January, next happy hour. I think it's going to be predominantly looking at Faction 9.
Yeah.
Maybe I think they'll probably bring out like the new catalogue.
Yeah.
Normally do.
Are there any models which model would you really like to see in the next catalogue from like an existing faction? There's not many left now. I thought that's what we would say. Chosen of War.
Yeah, Chosen of War. I was going to say, is there still something for the City States? Or have they got everything now?
That is a good question. I think they actually have everything now.
They might have everything now.
I think they do. I think they're complete.
Yeah.
For me, it would be the Trinivata.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All of City States is out.
I was going to say like either like Chosen of War or fleshing out some more of the Sorcerer King stuff for maybe like the Mahabharati, not the Initiates, but like the Mahabharati priests. Yeah, or Saints. Yeah.
Because I know that. Yeah. Actually, that's a good point. Yeah, I'd like to see the models that they gave names to in that original kind of document, the original army list document. But the Trinivata, I just think that wind is really lacking at the moment, and I think that the Trinivata will be cool, but also, help out there. That'd be good.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
and then I guess, and then I think as a segue, what are you most excited to play next year? What kind of faction army do you think you're going to be playing the most?
Probably still, most likely still Wadroon.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've just gotten used to, even if they're not like my main army, I think I've gotten so used to just taking the tournaments that it'll probably be Wadroon that I play mostly. I really want to enjoy using them for some like using Maquatl and stuff. So maybe going more like down maybe the Dino side. I've still got the City States, but I am really intrigued by what Faction 9 is doing. And depending on what Faction 9 looks like, may or may not determine if the city-states stay with me or not.
Mm-hmm.
I keep toying between Old Dominion and 100 Kingdoms as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the new stuff has been coming up for 100 Kingdoms has really tempted me. It'd be interesting to see if they update any other stuff with them as well. Like if they do start bringing out more like more modern Steel Legion or something. Like how much of the original sculpts do they? I guess across all the factions, how much of them are they going to start like bringing out? We've seen it with the Flame Berserkers. And we've now had it with the Men at Arms and everything. So yeah, I think for me it's still predominantly going to be Wardrune. I think.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we're pretty much full. You know, there's only a couple of units still to come out in the roster. But that's okay because it basically means that, you know, when the rosters are filled, it means that we get to see more unknown stuff with the factions as well. So I'm definitely keen for that. Yeah, I think Wardrune. Subject to how Faction 9 look. We know what the rules are like, but I definitely try and go off more the look of the army and the look of the models. Yeah, so the rules are fine, but if the models, you know, if I'm not taking with the models, I won't collect Faction 9. But if the models are all, you know, if the models are awesome, which I'm sure they will be, then yeah, that'll probably be a new faction. Yeah.
I'm not even going to pretend at this point I won't collect Faction 9. I probably will. God, I need a new house.
I'm gonna try and guess for you. I reckon you're probably going to play Nords quite a bit.
I think that's what I want to start with. It's the faction I've played the least since the game's come out. And like I played, and it's because actually for the longest time, most of the local players near me played Nords, and so like I didn't want, like, my main opponent for a long time played Nords, so I never picked them up. But I've always thought they were really cool, and I mean I've got them now. Yeah, I've had some for quite a while, but yeah, and I'll be with us. So I mentioned before, I bought the boxes of Nords on the Black Friday sale. But what it was, I was looking at how much it would cost money-wise to kind of finish off all of the models for my Wardrune army, or like the new Sorcerer Kings. Now they've had a few changes.
Yeah,
and I was like I could get a whole new Nords army for a little bit more than what it would probably cost to finish off that, because the Raiders were such a good deal. So I was like, oh, and I've already got some Nords as well. Like, so I already owned like the old two-player starter set and stuff like that, and a few other models. And so I was like, well, I might as well just get Nords, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm looking forward to playing them. I'm quite excited to see. Like, I haven't really played like an aggro kind of light army in a while. Like, I actually don't think in the last 2 or 3 years I've played a light unit in a tournament. That might actually be true. So I played.
You played Spires, didn't you, at UKGE?
Sorry, I forgot. Yeah, of course, I played Spires. Other than that,
you were one of those another. You called me a competitive one. You were another one of those obnoxious drone wolves.
No, look, Spires are not. You know, they're not good. You know, but no. So other than that, so I played Sorcerer Kings with no lights, and then I played City States, who at the time actually I don't think had any lights out. And before that, I played Old Dominion, who did have carries, so I did play some lights, I think, with that. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to playing an actually kind of aggressive list, I think, with Nords. Got some Raiders, got some Valkyries, got some Berserks. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to there.
Yeah, I have to admit, it's another one that's tempting me, is doing a mortal. I'm not too fussed with the maybe have like maybe a Jotun or something, but I'm not too fussed with the whole mythological stuff. But having like a mortal themed Nord army, with the Raiders, the Bow Chosen, the like Berserks, and the new Blade Chosen.
Blade Chosen, yeah.
Blade Chosen, yeah, the new and those Blade Chosen look
or good. Steel Chosen.
Still chosen.
I think I'm going to pick.
It's one of the two. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pick up a box of the Steel Trojan to be my captains. Kind of convert them a little bit to be captains in the Raiders.
It just looks so good.
Yeah, they're nice sculpts. They're like
Yeah.
big dudes. Yeah, so that's probably what I'm going to do with them.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Yeah. And in terms of events and stuff, I take it like UKGE. I think we both said we're definitely going to try and make.
Yeah, London. I'll definitely try and make.
Yeah, LGT's still on. We're going to look at. I was wanting to look at having a event down in Bournemouth because there's a big convention that happens down there, Bournemouth Beachhead.
Yeah, of course.
In February. I just have not had a chance this year to like get in touch with them and like properly look at it. So that's going to be a 25, 26, like looking at organising it maybe for 2026. But I think having a presence down there would be really good.
Yeah,
I think it might just depend if we can get space because it's a decent sized area, but the tournament space is like pretty packed.
Yeah.
So I think you need to get in like really early, try and book stuff. But yeah, definitely UKG, LGT, and yeah, whatever else comes up.
Yeah, no, I think I really look forward to it as well.
Yeah,
try and do as many as possible would be really good. What would you really like to see if you could make one thing happen next year? What do you think it would be?
Me lifting up the world championship. No.
That's good.
No, I think in terms of model or like event or just anything.
We'll do model after. Go for like an event, like something you'd like to see.
Just something to see. I think a really big, strong LGT turnout.
Yeah, that would be really good,
wouldn't it? 40, 50 people. 40, 50 people plus, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really nice. Yeah. I'd really like to see a team event, a team tournament event happen. Because I loved those with War Machine. They were my favourite type of event to go to. I know I got an email earlier, and I know there's one happening in Paris. So for anyone listening, there's a team tournament. Yeah, a team tournament going on in Paris, which I think will be really good. I don't think I can make it. It's a bad time of year for me to take off work at the moment, but
I've seen the email. I'm gonna have a look at it.
I mean, I guess we could drive to Paris, couldn't we? How far is Paris to drive?
Oh, it's only like it's about 3 hours once you like from Calais. I think it's about 3 hours or so.
Okay,
it's not bad. No.
Yeah, maybe.
You get the Eurostar easily enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Was it in March? It was in March, I think, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah. I'm not. This isn't me saying I'm. This isn't me saying I'm going to or anything. I'm going to have a look at it and see how it plans. See how it pans out with other stuff.
I think so. Yeah. So here's at some point next year, there's a team tournament in Paris.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I think there's also another one I saw is there's a big event in Poland with the Poland Championship being planned too. So there's lots of like nice international events going on that I'd love to make it to at some point. But I'd really like to see like a UK teams tournament.
Yeah, a team one would be. Yeah, that would be awesome. That'd be really awesome.
Yeah, and I do hope by the end of this year I at least have a plan for the charity event, like I mentioned, the one that Tuna did before.
I have to admit, that's given me some food for thought as well. Was that a Worlds event as well, or was it just a charity event?
No, it was just a charity event. So it wasn't like standard rules. It was
it was just whatever. Well, the club. I mean, the club that I play at Sluggers, they used to do like a charity 24-hour like gaming thing.
Oh, that's really,
that used to raise a good amount for charity. But that's given me some ideas to play around with. because there
No,
are
I
some
think
really
so.
good local charities written that around us as well as
Exactly.
national. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, that's my hope as well to kind of do that.
Mm.
So I mean, we've go for an hour and 20 minutes. Do you want to quickly do a rundown of all the different
Yeah,
factions?
yeah, I think so. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's obviously like Christmas time. People are going to have maybe Christmas money or the whole like New Year, new army kind of thing. The factions. I mean, yeah, I mean the I think one thing to say going into like 25 is that the game is still very like generally overall still very balanced.
Yeah.
We talk about we joke about Wadroon being crap or overpowered or spies or Dragon or whatever. But overall, you generally go into any kind of game with a pretty with a pretty balanced, fair chance of winning or losing.
Yeah.
It still very much comes down to how you play the game and the decisions. Yes, like the dice and everything else, but still the decisions that you take during the game. There's no like over powerful dominating list that's going to win against all metas or anything. So it's which is great because it still gives you that freedom to more look at the army that really appeals to you in terms of like models, aesthetics, but also kind of gameplay style, without worrying too much about whether you're just going to get tabled or not in a few turns.
Exactly. Yeah. I think
if you're going to spend all this money and all this effort buying a new army and painting it and stuff, and then only to like put it on the table for 5 minutes and start taking everything off. That's always sucky. The game's not like that, and it's not in that state either. So yeah, I think it's I think it's in a really good position, that state where people can look at getting really anything they want based on what they like and what they enjoy, and not have to worry about it staying on the shelf for years on end or whatever.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. So I mean, in terms of, I mean, for a new player, what would you say is the easiest army? Considering that the 100 Kingdoms getting like their new rules and roster and everything.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you were going to go through them in order, we've got the most annoying one first, don't we? Because that's probably worth noting. So 100 Kingdoms are getting their kind of revamp, their kind of look at in January. So if you're a new player and you're looking to get into 100 Kingdoms, I would just be aware that in January they're going to have a new set of rules. And so, I probably advise, well, my sensible brain would probably advise you wait until that drops. It should, I think it's fairly early in January, but I'm not sure.
I think it will be very soon after the happy hour, to be honest.
Yeah, so it's kind of we think that's about when it's going to be. But my actual brain that I know would win is just buy what you think is cool, and it will still probably be cool after. Like, don't pop out and buy a 2,000 point army if you're going to a tournament in February, kind of thing. Like, because it might all change.
And that's probably like the Wadroon, the Nords, and the 100K are having their reworks. All the factions getting this kind of revamp.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah.
We know what the next one is. That's going to get like their revamp. I think Dal said it on the Vanguard chat and stuff.
I haven't seen, so I'm not sure.
No,
I would not be confident.
I'm not going to say in case we are breaking anything, but we know what the next one's going to be. But basically, these are getting rolled out pretty quickly.
Yeah. Well, we can say it's not 100 Kingdoms, and it's not Wadroon, and it's not Nords.
No.
But
yeah. So yeah.
If you like kind of medieval dudes, like 100 Kingdoms is still your way to go. And from what we've seen, if you like the idea of kind of like the crusading knights going forward in terms of theme, like fantastic. Like the new Theist stuff is really cool from what we've seen.
Yeah. And there's a fairly forward army as well.
Exactly. I was going to say, in terms of like playstyle, if you're looking for a more kind of infantry cavalry focused force that's a bit more flexible in list building and then maybe a little bit more straightforward in gameplay, I think 100 Kingdoms are definitely a really good contender for that. They've got cheap chaff infantry, mercenary crossbowmen, militia, etc. And then they've got really good cavalry. They've still got the Ashen Dawn, obviously. But you've also got if you're also a sociopath or a psychopath, you can play Household Guard and Gilded Legion, which is a phenomenal list. It's a phenomenal list. No one wants to build that many Household Guards.
I was going to say, you deserve to win tournaments if you've gone through that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. And I think that they're a really solid army in that case. I don't think we could really say too much on the actual army base kind of in January because it's getting an update. So, you do you.
Yeah.
The next one, there would be Spires. So Spires are not a good new player faction. If you've never played a war game before, Spires, I'm not saying not to get them. Spires was my first faction in Conquest. But they're not a beginner-friendly army. If you chose Spires, I would expect to lose quite a few of your first games. But
yes, until you really get a sense of like how their quirks.
Yeah, but if you're happy with that, like if you're happy to pick them up and practice and be aware that you're probably going to lose, they're fantastic. Like just keep with them and go with it. But I would say, faction-wise, I think they are one of the best internally balanced factions in the game. So you've kind of got your three main sub-factions. You've got the Sovereign Lineages, which is like the Avatara. You can play an Avatara army, heavy with the Lineage Highborn, the Avatara, the Leonin Avatara, and do really well. You can also then play the next one, which is the Directorate. So that's kind of your Biomancers and your kind of High Lord Executor kind of things. So you're playing with more clones. You're playing with marksman clones, Desolation drones if you want. Now Siegebreaker Behemoth is really cool with the Biomancer. And you've also got the other Spires, which is my personal favourite for Spires, which is like your Ferromancer with all of your like Force-grown drones, your Brute drones, your Strix. And you can play any of those factions in Spires and be successful. I'm sure might be technically slightly better than another, but you can play any of them, I think, and they're more or less a similar kind of effectiveness, list. You can also go the deep end with some of the lists I know some of the Americans have played, where they're like really techie lists where they're a very high skill cap list with Leon and Avatara and Biomance and stuff. And that's really, if you enjoy that kind of list, we need to do an episode actually at some point on the gamer profiles. Have you ever heard of those? The
gamer profiles.
So you've got Timmy's and
you've mentioned these before.
Yeah, Timmy, Johnny, and Spike.
Yeah.
And Spires are definitely a Johnny faction. Like if you enjoy playing the game for fun, cool combos, and you want to win and everyone to think you're clever, they're the army for you. Like they're really fun to play. I really enjoy them. Is that you? Yeah.
I think so. I think probably city states. I think are very easy to play as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like in terms of it, haven't got like a huge number of different like weird mechanics or anything. There's a lot you can do with them, and there's a lot to master with them. But they've got some pretty, they're pretty reliable units. They can stand up to a slog pretty well. The chariots that come out has really helped them. The new giant come out as well. There's the seed. Is it the cedar? No, the
Oracle.
Oracle. That's it. That was the other one. I'd say also a city and city states has also got that. But there aren't many Greeks in fantasy.
No.
There's not many. It's fantasy very often features medieval style aesthetics or armies. Big knights, that kind of stuff. You don't generally see a lot of like Romans or Greeks in fantasy. So I'd say,
like,
I'd say that Greeks have definitely got that kind of unique element to them as well.
yeah.
And I guess same with Old Dominion in that sense as well. Like they've still got that unique. Okay, they're kind of a undead faction, which is a bit more of a stereotype. But it's still like undead Byzantine Romans, which you don't come across that much.
No, I was saying in terms of city states, I was going to say like even within that, I would say there's probably three main kind of archetypes you can go for, which if you chose to as your faction gives 2+1, which gives you you get into the faction, but it gives you some flexibility in what you want to play. So you can play, like you've said, the really kind of sturdy, high armor, kind of Clockolites, Hoplites, Sacred Band, Halos. Now, like you said, supported with the chariots, and that gives you the very much like kind of Hoplite 300 style, Spartan playstyle. You've also then got the lighter units. You've got the Argama and the Thorkites, which are not on the forces page on Parabellum. So they're kind of lighter. They've got fluid formation. They're a lot more aggressive. You're kind of running up. You're using Vanguard to get far at the board and get these charges off and killing things. And then the +1 is you can play the Promethean Oracle list, where you play 7 Jotnar, and it's obnoxious. And like if you've got 7 Jotnar, like you might as well, And I think the city state version is the best version of that list because the Promethean is a medium, so it's a very good list. So and then you mentioned Old Dominion is another really good suggestion for a new player.
And I think Old Dominion. I'm going to say is the easiest of the technical factions. So you've got like the token building kind of thing. First of all, you don't have to worry about one core mechanic, which is resolve rolls.
Make a huge difference.
You're just trying to get used to. I guess it's going to be a bit of a double-edged sword, but if you're just trying to get used to like, how does hitting, how does defense rolls work, all that stuff. It immediately like takes out an element for you to worry about, which could come bite you in the foot if you change to another faction. It's just having a piece of paper there that's telling you what each tier does, and just that reminder of I've lost a stand. Cool, here's one token.
Exactly.
It's still like that kind of technical side to it, or like that an area where you need to set something aside. But it's like the easiest form of it. So it's not like setting space aside for chanting or ritual markers or anything like that. It's like an easier version.
Yeah, exactly. If you've passed year 2 maths, your addition is solid. You're good. I think with this, ignoring resolve is really big for them. Like your units don't get punished as much for bad positioning. Nope. Because of that as well, you don't take resolve, but you also automatically pass like combat reforms, withdrawal. So you get a lot of kind of forgiveness with your army, and you also have some really strong units in like the Kerries, the Morai,
Pretoria. Anything's tanky.
It's all tanky.
Yeah, the stats might. Take like the legionaries for example. They might not look particularly great, but the fact they haven't got that resolve just makes anything in Old Dominion tanky.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think actually one we forgot and we skipped over there is the Dragon, which are really good.
I was thinking about the Dragon as an easy one, and they are. I think they've become more difficult. You got 2 options. You can either use them with the tokens or not. If you use them with the tokens, they become a lot more easy.
Yes. Yeah.
But that goes into like more of a specific, like a more technical play style. If you just want to pick up big angry dwarfs to run across and hit people with great big axes and cleave 3 weapons and stuff, you're not necessarily going down the token route.
No, I was going to say like. If you play like the traditional Dweghom Castle list, I think it still is as easy as it's always been. I think it's it's in a competitive scene, it's fallen behind where it was a couple of years ago. but
Yeah.
it's still good. Like we said before, like you could still kind of go and do well with the list, but also as a new player, if you're playing against other new players, it's a really strong list because you can just negate hits, and your army is like Hellbringer Drakes, Fireforged. You know, like it's very forgiving for your, you know, with your range attacks.
And even if not everything in it is solid, like nothing nothing necessarily has like a terrible resolve.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, everything has like at least a defense 3 with, you know, shields, all of that.
Yeah.
Characters are solid, are absolutely solid. Like no one wants to get hit by a tooled up break.
No, exactly. Yeah, and you know, magic is fun. You know, to do with the sorcerers. Like they're a really solid first faction because it's like good stats, and they also interact in every phase of the game. So you're going to have to learn the rules for shooting. You're going to learn the rules for melee. You're going to have to learn the rules for magic. You're going to have to learn the rules for interference, which I don't remember, I always forget. So like that's I think it's a really good first faction to go with too.
I
That
guess
leaves
Norwich will be fairly easy now as well.
Yeah, on the other side to the ones we've talked about so far.
Yeah.
As opposed to before, where they were a really technical faction. They are still a technical faction, but I think you can get away with, like, if you're a new player playing against other new players, or kind of getting into a faction kind of for the first time. You can now play kind of aggro Raider Nords and probably do okay. You know, like
you can play them a lot more as what you would initially expect them to perform like or to be like. What ones have we got left? We've got Sorcerer Kings, Old Dominion. Sorry, not we've got Sorcerer Kings, Wardrune. Just those two, yeah.
How would you start Wardrune? How would you start Wardrune?
I'd say it's a lot easier now that the changes to come about. So you can hold on to, you can hold on to your chance when you got 3 markers. You haven't just got to spend them. The tokens. The chant mechanic is a lot more simple. Things are a lot more like varied in the units themselves. I'd say it's a less imposing army for a beginner. I'm not going to say it's an easy army for a beginner. I think quite like Spires, you can probably expect to lose a fair few of the early games while you're learning them and getting your head around the chanting and what things can do, because they're still really good, but they're not they're not massively tanky.
Yeah,
you know, we don't have there's not a lot of high defense stuff in the army, and there's not necessarily a massive amount of cleave either. You know, so it's not an army that's going to like really wants to get in the brawl and stay there. So there's intricacies with it that I think takes practice to get your head around. I'd probably say they're a bit easier than Sorcerer Kings.
I think so. Yeah, I'd probably agree.
I think the Sorcerer Kings, the rituals are really good, but you know, there's so much. The rituals aren't kind of be all end all, but they can help with things. But then you've got the overall magic side of them in general, and everything needs to work almost like everything needs to work a certain way. So yeah, I think Sorcerer Kings are probably the least beginner friendly.
I think so too.
So I'm gonna leave this over to you.
No, I think so too. Like they have a lot going on, and they play. They don't really have a front line, so like you don't have an anvil. So, like you don't have that unit you can kind of put in the way and expect to survive a few rounds. Like you're going to play probably a lot of units. So you're going to have a large stack, and it's really important you get your stack in the right order. Now there is help for that because you're going to have multiple of the same unit, but you know that in itself can be fairly difficult. You know, you need to be doing your what are they called? You need to be doing your rituals. And to get those off kind of efficiently, you need people stood in the right place. So you're playing an awful lot of units that if they die, your game plan kind of falls apart.
Yeah.
So, like, basically, you open yourself up to the opposite thing that happened to me at LGT, where in my old Dominion match, my opponent managed to get a charge off with his Cataphractoid, and in that one activation, killed 2 of my characters.
Yeah.
And, if you're kind of newly getting into a faction, that's going to happen more. So it's a very, positioning heavy faction. But if you like cool elementals, then they're also a great faction to play. So, I mean, and to be fair, that is, when I talk about that is me talking about it in like a competitive kind of list sense. Like, if you are just looking to get into a faction and kind of dip your toe in, you can build slightly beefier units to play with. Like, you can put your Vaj in with, a block of, say, 7 Vajika, and, it'll be fairly sturdy. It's not like a Valkyrie block or like Thanes, but it will take a hit, perhaps, depending on what hits it. So you can build it, and then you could kind of learn. It'd be maybe like a slower tempo kind of play style that you'd have, because you're probably, if you're playing like that, going to build up your rituals slower, which means you're going to get maybe 1 off a turn, maybe 1 off every other turn. And that's fine. If that's kind of what you want to play, there's still a perfectly functional army with cool Jin in them. And I do have to say that I do think they are my favourite model range, hands down, in the game too.
Yeah.
Really, really huge fan. At the moment, one thing I will say is, if you are building a kind of Sorcerer Kings list, I think that because of how the releases are kind of panning out at the moment, I think you're probably going to be playing like a mono element list. You're probably going to be playing a majority flame or wind, fire or wind. And so that's worth being aware of. You can play with both. There's nothing stopping you doing that. But if you start building lists to play into people, you're probably going to find yourself predominantly playing one or the other. And it'll probably be fire. It will be fire at the moment. But that's okay. I mean, they're free to very, very lovely models too.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, I think that's a good running. I think that's a good summation of the factions. And like we said, the game's in a really good, well balanced state kind of thing. So you can't really go wrong. Have a look at them. Have a look at their lore, their play styles. And again, Power Venom has done this really good thing, and like they've included this little like document thing of how they play, like a very easy summary of what they're meant to do, and what you can do with them. And just go with what you like the look of.
100%. I think it'll be a really enjoyable. Any of the factions would be a really kind of enjoyable faction to play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
brilliant.
Yeah, it's been lovely talking to you. That's the end of our list of things to talk about.
That's the end. That's the end of it. I think in summary, 2024 has been an epic year for Conquest. Both here and abroad. The world's championships, all of that. The events have been running, the conventions. It always, it seems to be going from strength to strength. So, here's to 2025 for it. And for another good year of spending more money on plastic.
That's a good place to start. That's a good ending. I like that.
It's to spending more money on plastic. Brilliant. I think just to say quickly as well to like people who have been watching and listening to us. Thanks very much for the support, for the kind comments, and everything. Has this been running? Did we start it this year? No, we started it last year, didn't we?
I think so. Yeah.
Hopefully we'll definitely be looking at putting more stuff out next year as well. Thanks for the support.
Hopefully we'll have an episode from Kios.
Hopefully, yes. There is stuff I want to do at try and do at UKGE and stuff like that as well. There was stuff I wanted to try and do at London, but just ran out of, it was just an absolute full on. It just hadn't got much of a chance. But there's a couple of days I want to try and maybe do it UKGE. But yeah, thanks for everything. And yeah, hope you all have a very good Christmas and New Year. And hopefully get to see you in 2025. In the New Year resolution, we will figure out how to make an ending.
That's a good one. I like that. And paint some models.